First then, let's go to Highbury, where Arsenal faced the club they had to beat to lift the Coca-Cola Cup 3 seasons ago, Sheffield Wednesday. The two also met a week ago, an error-ridden Premiership game ending 4-2 to Arsenal. Commentary comes from Brian Moore.
Ian Wright returns to the Arsenal side tonight after a 3-match suspension, and all that means in raw enthusiasm and sublime goal-snatching. Arsenal is certainly better for having him back. But they're without the injured Martin Keown in midfield, where John Jensen plays, and John Hartson gets an attacking spot instead of Glenn Helder, who drops to sub. Wednesday, we're not convinced about the fitness again after a knock from David Hirst. Mark Bright, with 2 goals at Everton on Saturday, leads the attack again with Guy Whittingham, both hoping no doubt to prosper from crosses from the right from Chris Waddle. And the Belgian Marc de Greze is in midfield in place of Mark Pembridge, who was injured here last week in Wednesday's 2-4 defeat. Our referee tonight is Keith Burge of Tony Pandy. So here we go in this Coca-Cola game with a place in the quarter-finals at stake. And both these clubs, in fact, with good reputations in the League Cup, Coca-Cola Cup. Arsenal won it twice. The last time in '93 when they beat Wednesday in the final. Wednesday won it in '91. This is Kevin Pressman, the Wednesday goalkeeper. Chris Waddle up there looking for something now. Over his head, though. And Dixon turning it back comfortably to David Seaman. Flipped on nicely by Hartson. Wright's in there. Bergkamp almost in there. Hartson driving it in, but he drove it straight at Watts. Hyde gets it wide. Sinton. Waddle gives it away. John Hartson into Ian Wright. Played forward. Black made a very good run into the box there, but it didn't quite reach him. Whittingham sent banging to the ground there. Got it back again and given it away. Winterburn's intercepted. And well taken by Pressman. Winterburn, who scored a terrific goal. It's only one of the season, in fact, against Sheffield Wednesday last week. This sort of angle too. And an awkward bounce, but Pressman was behind it. Platt. Jensen. Bergkamp again, starting from very deep, trying to tempt Hyde into a challenge. Dixon. Bergkamp is to be everywhere at the moment. A great ball by Bergkamp. Dixon on the end of it. And Hartson really should have done better than that. Well, this is some good stuff by Arsenal. Crowd are warming to it even more now. Bergkamp at the centre of everything. Up goes Wright. And it falls for Platt. And it was a super bit of work there by Pressman. And Arsenal are calling the odds here without any doubt at all. A terrific chance for Arsenal, but a great move again. Bergkamp at the head of it. There's a great save by Pressman. And at the moment, Wednesday can't get out of their own half. Merson. Wright's chasing. Atherton's got goal side of him. Corner, though. He lost his boot in the process. Merson again with it. Bold again at the near post. Bergkamp just behind him, Hartson just behind him. Work here for Wednesday. It was the header by Des Walker, helped by de Greze. But it comes to Merson again. Whittingham with the header clear, up to Mark Bright. But Adams, and now Dixon. Good ball there by Dixon. Inch perfect there for Dennis Bergkamp, and he knew that Tony Adams was coming down that byline. Played inside, and Wright shovels it over the crossbar. But Arsenal are completely ruling the roost. And Bergkamp, the number 10, I must say, is at the centre of just about everything. Adams pulls it back, uncharacteristically Wright knocks it over. Andy Sinton. Mark de Greze, once of Anderlecht in Belgium. Waddle. Now can he turn the tide? Here's this cross coming in. He couldn't find Mark Bright with it though. Nolan. Waddle. Over on the left flank now. Putting one in there towards Whittingham. Good work by Seaman. And a terrific goal for Sheffield Wednesday by Mark de Greze. Well, that really was against all the odds. Arsenal totally dictating the game up until this point. And really their first serious attack. Waddle inspired it, a flick on and a very good one indeed by Whittingham. And de Greze just punishing that punch out from Seaman. And Wednesday are ahead. Hyde gets it back from Bright. De Greze. Waddle. This is where he can cause problems, but not with a cross like that. It's a good break here. Into the side netting, though. Well, Bergkamp has looked dangerous from the first moment of this game. And he had terrific pace, great determination and tenacity, but not quite a shot that could beat Pressman. Hartson up. Right, taking it on board. There's his shot, just wide. And in comes Jensen. Hartson taking on Nolan, getting past Nolan, but he doesn't know in the air, but he gets a free kick and Nolan gets a yellow card. But they hit it straight to the wall. Dixon plays it in again. Platt beaten by Watts' header. And a second Watts header. Bold. Now right. A little chip by him. De Greze getting it away. Tony Adams is in there. Can Adams finish it off? They get a corner. It came off Andy Sinton. Adams' feet just weren't quite quick enough in that situation. Frustrating for him and for Arsenal. But they get a corner. A deeper one this time. And Hartson puts it... Well, it must have come off a Sheffield Wednesday defender. Hartson was right in the thick of it. It's another corner for Arsenal. Chipped in towards the near post. A little too high, actually, for Bold then. De Greze, they claim a handball. It was accidental. Oh, and the ricochet goes straight to Merson, who plays it in again. And Walker did well to keep that out. Right. Can Merson get in there? He's given a penalty. That certainly looked tough. But referee Burge was straight there, pointing straight to the spot. And we think there's a yellow card as well. Let's have a look at the penalty there. Well, he took Merson's legs. And right now, who needs just one goal for 250 for Palace and for Arsenal, makes it 1-1 on the night. His 30th goal in this competition. And that could turn out to be a very important one. He's back, and he's amongst the goal scorers. That's the incident again, as Merson went tumbling. The referee was right there, I have to say, had no doubts at all. My first reaction was that it was probably a little on the harsh side. That was the perfect penalty. But looking at it again, it looked as though the Arsenal players' legs were taken. Time added on at the end of the first 45 minutes. Good cup tie affair this has been. Some brilliant play by Arsenal in the first quarter of an hour or so when they looked like overwhelming Sheffield Wednesday. But it was Wednesday who came back with the opening goal, scored by Mark de Greyser. And Arsenal stuck to their guns and eventually won the penalty, which Ian Wright converted. And the score then in this Coca-Cola Cup tie here at Highbury at half-time is Arsenal 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
We'll have those highlights for you in just a second.
Oh, say now! I scored! Say now! Dude, hit the post!
Wednesday get the second half underway. Their 6th visit, believe it or not, to the capital this season. And they've lost only one. That was last week here against Arsenal. They've beaten Queen's Park Rangers. They beat Millwall in the last round of this tournament. And they've drawn with Wimbledon and Chelsea. And David Pleat, the Wednesday manager, has come down. I always imagine he much prefers it down there near the action as opposed to the director's box. Here's Adams. Merson. Adams again. Hartson, he does turn well. They concede a corner. Well, this is a replica of much of the first half with Arsenal pressing and pressing and Wednesday defending at their wits' end almost. That wasn't a difficult one for Mark Bright to get away. Hoisted in deep again. Good jump there by Adams. Bold, in fact, tried to put it in the path of Platt, but then actually put it just wide of him. Merson hoisting in another one. Adams on the far side again. There, full stretch, and it was Walker who got that one away. And now Hyde on the break. This could be a good break now for Wednesday. Arsenal is streaming back. It's got to de Greyser. On the far side, it's got to Waddle, but there are so many red shirts back now. It probably needed a much more direct route for that counter-attack to have meant anything at all. Merson playing it wide for Dixon. And now for Bergkamp. And it's back to business as usual again as Arsenal come forward, but this time Hartson's offside. Well, we've played a quarter of an hour of the second half now, half an hour left. Watts with the free kick. Trying to hit Bright with it. It's Bergkamp. And now Wright. Watts gone out to contest this ball with him. Wright, a nice little chip in. And Platt almost got there. It fell at his feet. Probably before he realised it. And just couldn't compose himself to poke it past Pressman. Well, what's come now, really, for those watching, a bitter night of a really engrossing game of football, though. Nolan throw. Bright wanted it, couldn't get to it. Jensen just touching it on now for Dennis Bergkamp. Bergkamp shot in amongst the fans. Took so long to get himself going, and it's something like 9 goals in the last 11 games for the Dutchman now. Oh, this is a good break. Nolan chasing it, but Tony Adams well able to take care of that. Seaman gets it clear, only as far as Hyde. Pushed forward by him. Mark Bright. My goodness, Arsenal had very nearly left the door open then for Mark Bright. And there was no flag. Arsenal defenders looking towards the linesman, but my feeling was that he was being played onside by one of the central defenders. Again, it serves as a warning for Arsenal for all the pressure. It's still level, and they still have to be vigilant at the back. Arsenal's throw came off Walker. Adams. Dixon. To Hartson. Shaken off Nolan. Hartson still! It's a goal for Arsenal! John Hartson! Well, he certainly worked hard. And his turning has been a key point in his game. It was not such a spectacular one there, but that was a spectacular shot just off the hands of Pressman. But he does well. His strength takes him past Nolan, and the strength of shot was too good for Pressman. Arsenal ahead. It's only his second goal this season for Arsenal. Well, in territorial terms, that's probably about the right scoreline at the moment. Waddle. Atherton. Cut out by Merson. Crowd are loving that. And Merson slipping that challenge beautifully. And the pass now to Dixon. Oh, that was a terrific bit of football. Well, it wasn't just juggling with the head, but that was in itself good to see. But then when he got into full flow, it was a delightful ball that Paul Merson had played wide out on the road, and it was within an inch or so of being absolutely perfect for the on-rushing Lee Dixon. Well, that was good stuff. Now Merson with a corner for Arsenal. Des Walker with the important header. Merson plays it in again, but this time a goal kick. There he goes, the head work, more of that to come, more of that. Then the run starts, and he looks up and he sees Dixon away on this left-hand side as we're looking at it now. And that was so very near to being a wonderful pass. Now let's see how Wednesday can respond. 2-1 down now. Arsenal coming at them again. Nigel Winterburn is there, and Merson is there. Hartson, the scorer of the second goal, is there. Bergkamp. Chipped in by him towards David Platt. Atherton at first was quite happy to let that go for a corner, then realised that he had the opportunity of getting it away. Right with a shot, and a superb save again by Pressman. They're in full flow at the moment, Arsenal. Good bit of keeping. And now Waddle. Nolan. Wednesday, we're looking more and more now for Waddle's influence to be felt on this game. Crucial period they're entering now. And here's Waddle again. Played in again towards David Hirst. And Hirst did remarkably well with little at his disposal. Being shadowed by Steve Bold. Played in here by Chris Waddle. Still came very close to getting a shot on target. And Walker again with the clearance back to Pressman. He'll just want to get the ball forward as quickly as he can. The referee having a long look at the watch. Up goes Whittingham, a nice little flick on by him. Bold is there for Arsenal, only as far as Sinton. And now for Waddle. And almost, well, Hyde was in fact caught in any case in an offside position. The flag was up. The referees allowed the game to go on, but just for a moment, it looked as though Wednesday might produce something there. Seaman with the clearance. The final whistle goes, and Arsenal proceed to the quarter-finals of the Coca-Cola Cup. Paul Merson named the man of the match. De Grazer having put Wednesday ahead. Ian Wright with the penalty that made it 1-1, and then John Hartson, who scored the winning goal and gave the night probably just about the right result. Arsenal had looked the more positive almost from the start. And they, as I say, now go into the quarter-finals of the Coca-Cola Cup. Arsenal 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
David, after scoring the first goal, admittedly against the run of play, you must have fancied your chances.
We haven't held on to Leeds too well. We were too deep first. I thought Arsenal's movement was very good. They looked after the ball better than us. They passed the ball better than us. There again, I think the penalty was a little bit fortunate. I'm sure of that. And maybe in the second half, we should have done better when Hartson scored the goal.
Someone tells me, Bruce, that you're 7-2 on to go on to Wembley and take this trophy.
I'm just looking at the game and not worrying about odds. I mean, they're the questions that you chaps will keep putting and the bookmakers will keep putting up for us. But I think the game tonight was superb.
I just thought on the day we were fighting the tide a little bit. We did well to take the lead. It was an excellent bit of play. But basically, we couldn't get out. We couldn't get out. We were penned back too deep. It was difficult for us.
I think for the people that have come here tonight to pay and watch the game, I think they've had great value for money, great entertainment. Two teams that have played the game in great spirit. I mean, I don't even think there's been a foul that's worthy of any note in the game. It's been magnificent.
What difference has the new manager and a few big money signings made to this club?
Well, the boss gives me unbelievable confidence, you know. He helps me, and that's what enjoys my football, you know, is my confidence. And people like Dennis Bergkamp coming, who I believe is the best player I've ever played with. You know, he's got the ultimate all-round game. He can do everything. And David Platt, you know, attacking midfield player, and he's one of the players I've always admired. And, you know, to have them two at the club, you know, it lifted the club immensely. And you can see now the way we play our football.
And play their football they certainly did, particularly that man Merson, Ian.
Well, he had an outstanding game tonight, Bob. I'd picked him as the man of the match way early in the game. I mean, he just did everything. And when you think it's... some of the skills he showed tonight was incredible. I mean, this little bit of skill, keeping the ball up, keeping away from the defender, it was just, you know, it was lovely. And it's not often you see British players doing this.
A man who exactly a year ago was confessing drugs and all sorts.
I mean, exactly a year ago, he was in turmoil, he asked for help, he's had help, and this is the new man. We're looking at this player now. Look at that, the skill and then the pass. I mean, it was just wonderful. His all-round game now, Bob, is terrific.
And he acknowledged there that Bruce Rioch, being a very positive guy himself, he's got his confidence going, and everything he does is positive.
Well, I think in the year, the lad himself has you know, had to overcome his problems. He's had to work at his game, but he's a refreshed character now. You can see the way he plays is refreshed, and it's great. Arsenal, it's like Arsenal now getting a new player, a brand new player, and he's going to be even better, I think, Paul Merson. I think
the word stylish player have not always been associated with Arsenal, Ian.
Well, I'm enjoying watching him.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying watching Arsenal.
You spotted a change and acknowledged it tonight, didn't you?
Well, I am enjoying watching them because they're playing. I mean, Bruce Rioch has got a style of play. and he's got, would you believe, his defenders playing football. Now, who would have said that we would ever have seen, you know, Tony Adams galloping down the right wing like a wing. Stanley Matthews, eat your heart out. And not only getting there, but look at the cutback.
Wonderful.
Oh, Ian Wright knocking it over. Now, really, he should have said to the big centre-half, thank you very much. Now, this is his partner here, Stevie Bold. Now, Bold gets it, sees the space, comes forward. Again, not being typical of Arsenal style at all. Plays the ball and then thinks, hang on, what have I done? So sometimes it doesn't work, but they've got license to play, and I think that's wonderful.
Yeah. Bruce Rioch's beliefs we talk about. There's also a Dutch influence, isn't there? Without doubt.
Well, I think Bergkamp is, you know, and Helder to a certain extent, is obviously rubbing off on the other players. This lad's only 20-year-old here, John Hartson. Yeah. Only 20-year-old. He must look up to these players and watch what they're doing and copy them, because kids do that. Schoolboys copy and young pros copy older pros, and I think with the skill of the Bergkamps of the world,
it was that little lift, wasn't it?
John Hartson can only get, again, become a better player watching and playing with the likes of Bergkamp, and that was lovely. That was great skill.
Good result for Arsenal.
Wonderful, wonderful, Bob. Yes.
Thank you, Ian. Yeah. Short break now, and then we're off to Villa Park for Aston Villa against Queen's Park Rangers.